Wow, this is nice. Wow. Thank you. So, welcome home. Thank you. And here we are.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you, Cathrine.
And,
This is a lovely place.
Thank you.
Wow. This is so amazing. Oh,
Have a seat. Yes.
Thank you. This is so nice. Did you decorate this yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, together with her.
Clearly.
No, but actually together with, this is not my first house.
Okay.
So it just means I've become a little bit more selective in terms of, I buy the things I truly, truly love.
Very nice.
And yes, I'm happy with the selections. I buy a lot from the second-hand market.
That makes it two of us.
Well, my daughter calls it vintage. But my daughter looks at this piano and she's like, Mommy, this is called vintage. Vintage is not for everyday use. Vintage is for just looking at.
It looks lovely.
So she says she wants a new piano. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Cathrine Masitsa. Did I get the name right?
Masitsa.
Masitsa.
Don't worry.
We are very honored to have you on Her Standards today. This is a segment that we call Women You Should Know. And the reason people need to know about you is because of the excellence you have portrayed in the industry of wedding, the business of weddings. And I have just learned that there is much more. Tell us who you are, what you do, how long you have been doing it. I am so sure that our viewers who are watching, they're just wondering who is this wonderful guest that we're having in the show today.
So I know some of your viewers may already know me. If you do a simple Google search, like so many things people want to know about me. They want to know about my daughter, so it means I'm a mother. Yeah, most of all, really important. Job I feel I have in this life is being a mother to my daughter, who's just turned 8 years old now.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I had her late in life. I'm a wife, yeah, to one really good man. His name is Dr. Andras Rosa. He's Professor Emeritus, retired professor. I am a daughter, okay? Of course, I have a really good relationship with my father, raised by my father.
Yeah, you've spoken about that.
Yeah, I've spoken about that, and I think so that, well, let me not go there. I'm community, I live in a community member, but most of all, I'm also a businesswoman. Yes, I'm a businesswoman. I have run many businesses. I have a stint in real estate. I'm in the bridal business. I'm also a vet.
Surprisingly.
Yes. And yeah, I trained, graduated, registered by the board, Kenya Veterinary Board. I can practice. I specialize mainly in small animals, dogs, cats, pets. And I think so that if I started today, let me tell you, I would really do it very, very differently. Yeah, I think the opportunities are really big for veterinarians at the moment. Yeah, in the world, and even in the wake of COVID, there's a lot we know, and that's why even whoever came up with the vaccine was a vet. Yes, there's a lot we know about coronaviruses, that we have so much more experience on coronaviruses. And what else have I have experience in rural development. That is one thing people don't know.
Yeah,
a lot. I worked for the European Union, so I worked on a lot of rural development projects. So that's one of the areas I really specialize in.
Interesting.
Yes.
And you can crochet.
I can crochet. Yes, I can crochet. How can I forget that? But I have many talents.
Yeah.
So that comes into talent. I cook very good food, like amazing food. I can crochet. I'll invite you one day. I usually have lunches. There's something I call Catherine's tables. And I like to decorate tables and invite people for lunch, and we talk about many things. So that's one, because I like to cook and I cook. So yeah.
I hope my producer is listening to this, because we need to come back for
one of those.
Yes, Catherine's tables.
Yes.
But anyway, Cathrine, you know, since many people actually, I know you do a lot of things, but you're synonymous with weddings and brides and wedding fairs. You know, we cannot have this conversation without touching on the biggest news in would I say the wedding industry, no, what's happening in the Buckingham Palace. Because I remember a couple of years back, I personally sat and watched it was called the Royal Wedding. Yes, we were the fans who were seated somewhere at Windsor to witness Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, solemnize their union. And then all of a sudden, things just went south for the couple. And right now, I think they're the biggest news in the global space. What are your thoughts around what's happening to the couple vis-a-vis the Buckingham Palace, everybody else taking a stand? There have been allegations of racism and so on. What do you think about that? What do you make of that?
So I have several thoughts, but first of all, shocking about, the issues that have come to fore, issues about race, yeah? And what is even more surprising is that, they would rather lie, yeah, than say the truth, and not say the truth to protect this couple. So that really stood out for me. But what is standing more for me is about the reason even we have this program. Women traditionally have always been sidelined, but when it comes at an international level, and let me tell you, I have worked at an international level. Yeah. The issue of women, but also the issue of race. But so the big question for me is, it's not just about Buckingham Palace. It reflects what is generally happening in the world. And the question to a lot of these institutions is, I think the question is to them, when? When are you going to change? Whether it's media houses, when are we going to have more women represented so that we can have our views? Whether it's in positions of leadership, you see. But also, in terms of, when you look at at an international level, in terms of race. So, this we thought, and that's why we really celebrated. Remember, we had Samantha's Bridal in partnership with KTN. Yes. We did this big watch party, and everybody turned up, and everybody was asking us, why? Like, what's the relationship? And we are like, you see, for us, this is a biracial woman. She may not be black, but you can imagine she's biracial and she's treated the way she was treated. What hopes do the rest of us have?
True story.
I'm just looking and I'm thinking okay, we just ratified, was it ratified? There's this trade thing. And I'm just like, do you just want to use us? Or do you really mean
it? I remember at the watch party, why it was a big deal for me actually was because of history was being made.
Yes.
And diversity, I'm all for diversity. Love is love, you cannot stop it. Yes. You don't choose who you fall in love with. And I think even your case is, you are in an interracial relationship. But then now when somebody or people feel like you do not belong there, or you do not deserve to hold that position. And I was just thinking, do you think there are many women out here who are probably not to the level of Meghan Markle, but they are caught up in these relationships where they're facing prejudice, facing so many stereotypes? Do you think these women exist, and what would you tell them?
So the one thing I want to say is that if there was one chance, yes, we thought it was history, if there was one chance that this institution, the monarchy had to change, was Meghan Markle. They blew up that chance. But the other issue that really comes is not just the issue of race, it's the issue of mental health. Mental health is, you can imagine, she had these suicidal thoughts. And she felt she was caught up in this situation and she couldn't, she had no way out. Yeah. So the issue, and it reflects a lot of, especially during the time of Corona, one of the things that has actually come up is the issue of mental health. You are living in this space that you're, okay, I have gardens, whatever, we can walk around and whatever, but someone is feeling confined. Sure. But I think it's a lesson for us, even in this country, let's not go far, yeah? Women are stuck in these situations. It could be work-related, it could be relationship-related, and it's not just women. It is about mental health. in this country. We have like 88 psychiatrists, and that people with mental health are sidelined. When you just hear, that person had this mental health issue.
They're stigmatized actually.
Yes, stigmatized. Mental health at all levels, whether it's bipolar, whether it is even just, which is this condition where children can actually not read properly. Dyslexia. It is a major issue. Do you know today, as we speak, we don't even have a curriculum in this country?
Wow.
We do not have a curriculum unless you pay lots of money to go to other schools, like where they are doing talent-based teaching. So there's a lot of mental health issues. Even now, a lot of teenagers are committing suicide. So mental health, if you're looking at a lady like Meghan Markle, she could afford everything. And so we should stop stigmatizing this. If you're in a mental health situation, there is help. You seek help. Remove yourself out of the situation. And I know sometimes it may not be easy. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. And if you find that you are having those suicidal thoughts, talk to someone. Don't just talk to somebody. There's always a way out. So those two issues: women in the workplace, race, and mental health. Those are the big things we need to actually be focusing on now.
Very interesting. You know, looking at the theme for International Women's Day this year was actually focused on women and leadership. So how do we achieve an equal future in the post-COVID world, which is actually what we are leading right now. And you know, it's a very difficult time for women. You've just mentioned some of those areas that women have had to deal with. COVID was so harsh. Well, it affected both men and women, but when you come down to the finer details, the people who took a bigger blow were actually the women. Look at domestic violence, look at job losses, look at the burden of childcare, the list goes on. And I read somewhere, or a little birdie told me that you have chosen to challenge something, and that is the stereotypes about women and aging women, the myths and the stereotypes around that. Why is that so important for you?
It is important for me because at my age, which I shall not reveal on national TV, do not ask me.
I'll convince you.
We're dealing with a couple of things.
Yeah.
One of the things we are dealing with is aging parents. Aging mothers, especially women, tend to live longer than men.
Sure.
And so there's the issues on health, but there's the issue of representation even on media. Yeah? There's many issues. Yeah. And I challenge you, why don't we have people, like on your channel, on KTN channel, why don't we have women like Zainab Badawi? She's more than 60 years old, and she's on BBC, she's presenting.
I hope my boss is watching and listening.
Why don't we have, where are these women disappearing to? Yeah? We used to have those people. Where are they? They can articulate issues. And we know when you're blocking us out. We know. Advertisers, we know when you're not talking
Cathrine,
to us.
that's why we
because you're obsessed.
Her
you are obsessed with 35-year-old women. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a topic for another day.
And I'm glad that we're having this discussion, especially on her standards, because we have opened up the space for women, no matter
and my
the age.
Standard is,
yes,
I know when you're not talking to me. And you know what? Goodbye. I shall just move on and make my decisions with my hard-earned money somewhere else. Thank you very much.
No, we need you.
Yes. And no, it's not. I'm not talking about KTN per se. I'm just talking about you just begin to notice systematically women just disappearing. They disappear at mid-level. There's all these women, and then you get to senior level, boardroom level. Where are the women in the boardroom?
True story.
Where are the women?
True story.
Yeah, and I know there are many. Just recently, I did a program on corporate leaders, and to just position myself for those leadership positions, and we have to work so extra hard to actually get those. Me these days, I have no business dealing with a company that has no women on their boards, and I check.
And you know, Cathrine, that is the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah, because what we have seen when it comes to diversity, not just gender. We have people living with disability. We have people coming from different what do they call them, tribes or regions, it is so common that we walk into certain organizations and the representation is so skewed you don't even know where to start. But I want to ask you this. What do you think we can do as women? How do we leverage on what we have to take up these positions? How can we improve ourselves? How can we ensure that the environment is enabled enough for women to rise up? What do we need to do?
Number one, we need to start with ourselves. You know, this thing of blaming men, whatever, we need to start with ourselves. We need to remember one thing. As women, she wins, you win. If I win, Quinta, if I win, yes, you will win.
I know that.
We should stop sabotaging each other. And I see so much of that. There's so much sabotage, at least in the industry that I'm in, yeah? We need to stop that. We need to stop stereotyping ourselves. Because these self-fulfilling prophecies, we now begin believing them and we begin living them. You know, there's so many stereotypes out there, you know. So even when we are making choices, we need to be aware. We need to be aware of these things as women ourselves. And thirdly, we just need to take. We just take. When you are invited on the table, yes, just partake. You know, partake, but also learn how to be on that table. Remember, men have been doing this thing from the point of creation.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Every game has rules. Learn the rules, then break them, then create new rules.
Somewhere along
because
the way.
You cannot play a game that you don't understand the rules.
Somewhere along the way, Catherine, we make mistakes, and for most women, what happens after we have found ourselves probably failing, the next thing we do is just shy away from that position. The reason I'm asking you this is because we've been in business for those number of years. I am so sure you have made good decisions, you've made bad decisions, but in all of that, there were some lessons that you picked out from there. What would you tell women in business? Because this is one area where I believe that if women are economically empowered, then we can we can move this movement of women empowerment, gender equality to the next level. When a woman has something, has a source of income, then they can make their own decisions. They can lead their own lives. They can take care of their families better. They can lead organizations. What have you learned from your own experience running a business? You have a family, a stable family. What have you learned?
The biggest thing I have learned is follow your intuition. Follow your intuition in the sense that women, we tend to be very creative in solving problems. We tend to be very creative even in ideas. And there are so many ideas because the business world is full of men.
Sharks.
It's full of men, yeah? But there are so many ideas that men do not consider as ideas. And so if you see that idea, pick it, move with it. Sometimes we are, when I was growing up, I was thinking of maybe one day I don't know, I'll invent what? Something that will go to Jupiter and come back or something. Forget Mars. Me, I was past Mars, You had moved on. Sometimes the ideas are just here.
Yes.
They are just here. Pick those ideas. And if you believe enough in it, yeah, then run with it. But also, learn something from the men. What is the opportunity? How big is it? Because sometimes you're just pursuing something that you cannot even scale. You want to understand how big is the opportunity. Be the James Mwankis of this world. He realized there is such a big market in terms of the unbanked market. Look, it became one of the biggest banks. Just when we thought the banking sector is done. Yeah? So, again, I want to challenge the women. Look at how big is the opportunity. Is it scalable? Because one of the things I realize is when we are going to raise money, like venture capital, we're looking for business investors to come into the business. Sometimes, because women tend to be more in the creative field, we start businesses because there was opportunities that men did not see, or maybe, there's all that. So you want to, again, start with the end in mind. What I mean is that, think about exit. You're not going to be doing this thing for forever. So therefore, starting with the end in mind means have proper books of accounts, all those things, so that one day exit could mean you're exiting, giving it to your children, someone is buying or someone is putting in money, especially somebody coming to buy your business. You don't have to do it for the rest of your life. Someone may want to buy, selling your business. So that means do everything right, from taxing to incorporation to trademarking. Whether you cannot trademark an idea, but you can trademark your methodology, you can trademark the name of your brand and all that. So think about those things. Trust your intuition. It's probably right. If you're seeing the opportunity, it is right. Do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that what was going on in your mind when you switched careers from being a vet to a business person, taking up the line of weddings? I mean, look at how diverse these worlds are.
Absolutely not.
What was going through your mind?
What was going through my mind when I started?
Yes.
I just, okay, what were the things around that? What happened was that I just met my husband, and he had proposed, and he was going back to Europe, and we were going back to Europe together. And I was just, wait a minute, yeah? So I'm going to Europe. What have I left here? It's me, I just need even a house in my name. Yeah? You know, you never know.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, Uko. So when I started business, the truth is, I just wanted to buy a house in my name before I get married. And I thought, how do I do this? This job with this salary, no. I can't. Because I looked at everything, no, it can't. So I knew my way out was to start a business. Yeah? And years later, I've bought many houses in my lifetime. That's therefore, initially I said, I have a stint in the real estate. Yes. It's one of my biggest loves in the world. So everything evolves. And sometimes don't overthink issues. So for me it was, yes, I'm getting married. And therefore when I got married, I realized, so who's helping? And then within that, I also realized I did this, there's this publication I had called Enterprising Businesswoman. I realized there's absolutely no support at the time for women in business. Absolutely, there was none. In fact, oh my goodness, I mean, how far we have come. Like, people do not realize how far we have actually come. Because me, I was just groping in the darkness. Like, I didn't even know. But anyway, I survived. Here I am. Therefore, I say, trust your instincts. Yeah? And just do it. This life and success belongs to the people who will stand and say, here I am.
Yes.
I'm doing
ready
it.
To do it.
Not the ones with ideas. Ideas will become regrets if you do not actualize them. So it just belongs to those people. You think me, I knew anything? I was a village girl, herding animals, knew nothing about weddings. Here I am. I am the queen of weddings, and I know everything.
Africa,
so the one below. When I entered the business, there were people who knew much more. I remember it was October, and my wedding was in December. I was running a different business at that time. I was already in media publishing and all that. So I met this lady, and she asked me, we just struck a conversation. And she's like, so when, I told her I'm a bride to be in December. And she's like, so do you have your dress? I said, yes. Venue, yes. Decorator? I had done zero, complete, absolutely zero. I didn't know anything. But from there, I am.
We have a whole...
I have nothing to prove.
Business empire.
Because I chose to do it. So anyone listening, it doesn't matter your age, you just do.
You need to do it. Well, the conversation is getting extremely interesting. We are talking with Cathrine Masitsa, and we're just talking about business tips that she has garnered over the years. You don't want to be left out. If you have a question, you have a comment for her, you can be part and parcel of this conversation. All you need to do is just reach us out on social media. We are on Facebook at KTN Home, or you can reach to me directly at Queenie Mbori on Facebook. On Twitter, we are available as KTN Home and also Queenie Saina. On Instagram, I am Queenie Mbori, and you can also reach us on KTN Home. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we want to talk about some of the most talked about weddings here in Kenya. You do not want to go away.